too quiet. Just have to not start squealing like a pig either.
Jesus hated doing the bread thing because it was a stupid, silly little tabletop performance where Jesus sticks 2 forks and 2 loaves of bread and makes that bread do a little tap dance. It's a complete rip-off of a Charlie Chaplin bit, but everywhere Jesus appeared, the folks who surrounded him only wanted to see one thing: the bread thing. Jesus performed real miracles for people everywhere he went, yet when he finished, people would be disappointed if he didn't do the bread thing. These people refused to hear the message he had for them. He wanted so badly for them to understand that they themselves held the power to return this world to the long-lost paradise where only one simple rule would ensure that everyone had a copy of the key. The golden rule: treat others as if they and you were the same. Be good to each other, lend a hand. But they had not the ears to hear this simple wisdom. They wanted only one thing from this man who offered them the true light of pure love. They just wanted to see the fucking bread thing. So, one last time, he gave these folks what they wanted.
I said folks.
A reenactment,
One of the most memorable moments in history. A beautiful tap dance
accomplished by playing with symbolic nourishment on the table, as would a poorly behaved child seeking attention at an extremely inappropriate time. But Jesus did deserve the attention of all these half-wits. He deserved so much more, yet one actual piece of shit even went so far as to try to pocket a couple loaves, unnoticed, with a scheme in mind to take and sell the show to one of the television studios and land a primetime spot doing a rip-off of a rip-off. But as he reached for his second loaf, he spilled the salt and drew the attention of the table. He froze in place, a perfect picture of betrayal, with extra credit for being the only scumbag with his elbow on the table. The man sitting beside this opportunistic rat fuck, I think his name was Peter, saw the whole pathetic plot developing and couldn't let it slide. He spoke aloud after a few moments of trying to ignore it. You're just gonna freeze in place, like maybe he won't see you going for his bread? What, then you're just gonna wait till he looks away again and continue on your greedy little way to pocketing another loaf? Where the fuck is your self-respect? Are you some kind of nitwit? Do you think people can't see you if you aren't moving? You think Jesus is like a T-Rex, like a dinosaur who can't see you if you don't move? Jesus intervened. Peter, man, please, you gotta stop bringing up dinosaurs. It's one of the main things my dad said he didn't want to hear discussed anymore. Come on, man, help me out here, my friend. Just stop talking about dinosaurs. It just makes my job even harder. Peter replied, you got it, Jay. Dinosaurs are bullshit, no problem. But I grabbed this knife to cut this poor bastard a slice because I thought he was hungry. And now it turns out he's stockpiling your bread? Who's the second one for, Judas? Huh? You got dogs back home or some shit? Judas coldly shot back with the full conviction of a justified man with a calling. If Jesus won't do the bread thing, I'll do the bread thing. I know it. I'll do it better than anyone's ever seen. I'm gonna share the bread thing with the whole world on primetime TV. Jesus isn't the only one with talent around here. Watch, I've got a whole new take on the routine. Just let me do a little demonstrate. You put one of those forks into one of those loaves, and I'll stab you in the fucking neck right here at the dinner table, shitbag. Now take your dirty little hand away from that bread, pick up a bit of that salt you spilled and toss it over your right shoulder, and maybe you'll find enough luck to avoid getting what you deserve for months. Again, Jesus pleaded with Peter. That too, man, please don't encourage these superstitions. It's counterproductive. Peter nodded, yet continued his condemnation of Judas, who was clearly becoming uncomfortable at the dinner table. Since you become treasurer, money's gone missing. Want to talk about that? I wasn't even gonna bring that up here, but you're a piece of shit, you know that. Yeah, you gotta know that. God, Jesus, just give me the green light and I'll waste this dirtbag. Jesus shook his head and spoke in a calm, composed, even gentle voice. Forgiveness is what he'll get. I actually would rather he be the one to do the bread thing from now on, whenever people ask. Actually, fuck yeah, Judas, you do the bread thing for us. And then I have some wonderful news to share with all of you. All at once, the table erupted with cacophonous objection. Jesus, no, you, please, you do the bread thing. You do it so good, you do it. You dance the bread, it's the best thing ever. Then their voices unified as they began to chant. Do the bread thing, do the bread thing. inwardly ashamed that he found himself actually fighting back the urge to stand up and walk out. Finally let out a defeated sigh before wearily announcing, "Okay, I'll do it one last time." The crowd roared with elated cheers and victorious glee. Jesus couldn't help himself and he interjected, "You guys, I walked on water right in front of many of you just the other day. I turned water into wine, which you drank until you were all just talking over each other in disconnected streams of slurred nonsense until each one of you sunk into a thoughtless stupor. I must confess, I watched in disappointment, and the only thing that revived your senses was when Thomas, as if he had in that very moment attained enlightenment, wide-eyed and mouth agape, found the words, 'Do the bread thing.' Instantly, you were all revived, possessed by a spirit I would give utmost thanks for, had it corresponded to some kind of realization of true brotherly love or an act of goodwill towards a neighbor, but you just wanted the same thing, goddamn bread thing. Real talk, y'all don't deserve what I'm gonna give to you, but that's the whole point, isn't it?" He said, mostly just as an aside to himself. "It's unconditional. You know what unconditional means, right?" At the far end of the table, St. Bartholomew, a man who had actually recently drunk from the Holy Grail itself, expecting a well-aged cab or, I don't know, something French for sure, wore a face filled with the bursting anticipation of a child on Christmas morning, right at the moment of having spotted the pile of colorfully wrapped boxes filled with infinite possibilities of treasures and toys and joyous things which had been but a dream night after night until this very moment preceding their real-life manifestations one after another, and little hands, still trembling with excitement, said with decided certainty, "He's gonna do it. He's totally gonna do the bread thing." Mary, the only one who ever truly came close to grasping the significance of his teachings, and who he was fucking, said, "Come on, babe, they're never gonna appreciate your work at the level you want them to, just do it. They're just gonna keep salivating with one-track minds of eager dogs until you throw them their bone." Says the one who, just last night, I happened to accidentally walk in on doing a pretty good dog impression while receiving a certain bone of her own, said James, son of Alphaeus. And a not-so-private chuckle to Andrew, the man sitting between him and Peter. Andrew didn't even seem to hear the gossip at all. His hands just seemed to hover in anticipation. For the bread thing, of course. But Peter heard and confirmed. I've actually witnessed that too. Multiple times. Mary shot Peter a disgusted, double-taking glare. "Pervert," she accused Peter, who shrugged. Jesus quickly snapped the attention back to the main event. "Okay, let's get on with the show then." Backed by popular demand, he didn't even have to finish his intro. The cheers returned in a roar of celebration of the good news. "My man," someone said, "it's art. It's great fucking art. I don't even know what art is, but that bread thing, now that's art," declared Matthew to Jude Thaddeus, who quickly turned to Simon at the table's end. "Now, Jesus is your brother, you said?" Simon corrected him. "Cousin. Cuz is gifted." "You ever get jealous?" Jude asked Simon bluntly. "Nah, man, just zealous, you know what I mean? Proud of my cuz. I got bit by a snake on my hand once. He just healed my shit like, bam! With a wave of his hand, he was just real cool about it, like, I got you, bro." I've seen him do a lot of amazing things, but I tell you what, ain't nothing like that bread thing. Judas, throwing up one final Hail Mary attempt, offered a collab. "I really do know it. We could do a duet for the finale." Peter snatched him by his robes. "How about I cut your fucking dick off, then cut it again in half, stick 2 forks in it, and you can take a solo. You can just do the exact same routine, repeat the whole thing, but instead of the bread thing, we'll call it Pick Yourself Up." "Oh, come on, Judas, don't tell me a musical comedy aficionado such as yourself hasn't seen Swing Time, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers. Nothing's impossible, I have found, for when my dick is on the ground, I pick myself." Now shut your crooked mouth and watch the master break it down. It's believed by some that at this point, the dirty coward Judas quietly pissed himself. "The fuck out of my way. You're blocking my view. Fuck off, Judas. You ought to be dead by now. You better thank Jesus. Seriously, thank him. Say thank you right now. Tell him to break a leg, you piece of shit." Judas's eyes didn't leave the ground. He began to utter the words, "Thank you, Jesus, break it. Shut the fuck up, Peter interrupted. You probably actually want him to break one of his legs. You envious water moccasin, sneaky snake-ass fuck. Hey, Jesus, I'm sorry I lost my shit, man, but I really don't think you ought to allow this guy to kick it with us. But you're the dude. You're the man. I just want you to know that I got your back, and this dude is not cool at all. I'm sure you already know that. Shit, man. I'm sorry. The floor, the table is all yours. And Jesus, break a... Wait. Oh, snap. Oh, shit. Break a loaf. Yeah, break that bread, son. The Son of God, y'all, give it up. Jesus was off somewhere else in his mind this time. Far, far away. The applause and hollering slowly faded back into his awareness. He gently shook his head and looked down. The audience may have even gotten the impression that Jesus was saying a prayer before the beginning of its performance, but he was actually concealing a single tear. Shed for his friends and fans who loved him, though not for the thing he wanted them to have. The thing they would soon come to realize he would sacrifice himself for and die a painful death so they could have it. Not that thing, the other thing. The bread thing. After a moment, he realized it all. Even the bread thing ought to be done right. He cleared his mind, prepared his forks with 2 flawless jabs, spearing each loaf, now hard and cold bread. He took one last look around the room, trying his best to make the most loving, accepting, forgiving eye contact with many of his onlookers. But every single pair of eyes was pointed down, unblinking, and fixed on the bread, on the forks, with complete, immediate suspension of disbelief, and not a single dance step had been taken yet. Jesus said, fuck it. He did the show. People acted like they witnessed another miracle, greater than all the others performed before it. Jesus left, he died on the cross, but before he did, he told the people, look, I'm gonna come back here one day, and when I do, if anyone ever talks about the bread thing, I'll send them straight to hell. I'm never doing that again for the rest of my life, which is forever. Anyone who demands or even politely asks me to do it will burn in hell, also forever. After a brief pause, a voice in the crowd asked aloud, but wait, if the whole thing of you dying is so we can receive the graceful gift of everlasting life in paradise, how can you turn back around and condemn us to hell? What's the point? Without missing a beat, suspended by nails from a splintered wooden cross atop a hill, surrounded by his audience once again in unimaginable pain and mocked by a crown of 5-inch thorns atop his bloody head. The point is that I'm giving you the best thing ever, but you're not gonna get it if you can't get past the lowest hanging fruit. Come on, y'all. The shit I do is fucking rad and original, but you just wanna see me do the same old mindless silly shit, which is absurd. It's a bit I didn't even create in the first place. I love you guys so much though, still, just trust me. Another voice shouted out rather bluntly. That's kinda egotistical, dude. Like, we like this thing you do, we love it. Why would you take that away from us? You're being kind of an elitist. Okay, if one more person mentions the fuck it. I may come back, but don't hold your breath. Live your lives. If you just want the same thing over and over and over again and you are happy, I guess you've already found your way. I don't know. I'm sorry, everyone. Sorry. I actually don't know what the fuck is even happening anymore. This shit hurts. Ask my dad. He sent me here. Just don't mention dinosaurs. You gotta just trust me. Or just... Damn it. Just be nice to each other. When you can. I was just being a bit of a dick myself a moment ago. I apologize. I'll come back. Fuck. I'll do the fucking bread thing when I get back. And hey, whenever you want to see the actual original performance, just watch Charlie Chaplin in Gold Rush. It's actually called the Dinner Roll Dance. Who knows? You may end up worshiping him. And he didn't talk. He didn't say shit. He didn't try to explain anything. He didn't need to. Maybe all this world ever needed was a dinner roll dance. Seriously, just go watch Chaplin do it. I promise you'll love it, unless you're a fucking Nazi. I'm actually gonna go watch it again right now, and then go, man, try it yourself. Do your own roll dance. It's all you'll ever need. I'm done talking. Wait, Jesus? I have a question, asked a little girl in the crowd. Jesus struggled but lifted his head back up one final time to meet her eyes. What if we don't have any food to stick a fork in? Jesus slowly took his final breath, drawing in as much oxygen as he could. He spoke his last words and let them out as a faint whisper. Then people need to stop playing with their fucking food and do what I said. Nobody could hear what Jesus said. Those who have the means now give thanks before every meal by doing a little dinner roll dance. Those who can't just put their empty hands together and close their eyes.